So out of nowhere in the spring of 2023, I got diagnosed with type 2 rosacea. If you look at my skin today, you don't see anything on my skin. A little sun that I had, this came out of nowhere. I never had a skin issue, and I didn't even know what rosacea was. I went to the doctor. They said it's incurable. You got to watch what you eat. You can't eat this. You can't eat that. You can't eat this. I went on a year-long journey looking for answers. I tried the carnivore diet for 60 days, completely, stuck to that. Nothing worked. It actually got worse, it seemed like. I tried the creams. I tried just about everything the dermatologist had. Nothing worked until I put on the patch. Within 6 weeks, my skin began to clear, and praise God, here I am today. After 12 weeks, my skin was completely cleared. I haven't had another breakout. It went from here to the eyes to the forehead. But that's just one testimony, whether it's psoriasis, eczema. We've seen people that have had spots for 30 years, disappear in less than 2 weeks. So,
Hey, my name is Jessica Salceda, and before I got on the patch, I was a hot mess. I just hurt all over, arthritis. I'm coming up on 55, so um, just a lot of pain. One of the main things that was going on with me is I have neuropathy, and it was really getting painful at night. I couldn't, like 7:30, 8 o'clock, I couldn't walk anymore. It was really uncomfortable, burning, hurting. When I'd go to sleep, it was really burning and hurting a lot too. So I wasn't getting good sleep. I started the patch, and no joke, 7 days later, I woke up and walked to the restroom in zero pain. Not on day 6, but on day 7. And it has been like that ever since. I've got my night routine back. So getting all the things done at night like I used to like. Then I continued to wear the patch, and I noticed that my neck and my elbows, at night, I wasn't able to straighten them, and I couldn't move my neck without a lot of pain. And I continued to wear the patch, and I have no pain at night in my neck and in my elbows anymore. So that is
mm,
amazing to me. I started getting, I noticed I have a lot more energy. I don't know if it's energy or stamina. Like when I would get home from work, I really didn't want to do a whole lot, but I'm getting home and going, what's the next thing? What I got to go. So it's just been wonderful, and I cannot wait to just continue to wear this patch and see what it's going to do for me.
Well, I'm 62. Have a pretty high stress job. I represent abused and neglected kids. And about the last year and a half, my resting heart rate was between 36 and 37. I'd wear an Oura ring at night, wake up in the morning and go, well, I don't know that this is normal, but went about my day. Always tired, and was scheduled for a heel surgery in Haglin's deformity on my backside of my foot for August of 24. I went in for pre-surgery approval, and they freaked out. At 8 in the morning, my resting heart rate was 40, and they looked at me and said, "Are you a marathon runner?" And I said, "What about this body makes you think I run marathons?" No, but I got to go. I got to be in court soon. What's wrong? I got to go. And they said, "Oh, no, no, you can't have surgery. You need to go see a cardiologist." So 3 days later, I was in with the cardiologist. Next day, I failed the stress test, but I hadn't worked out for 10 months because of my injury. And they said, you got to do a cardiac catheter. So 2.5 weeks later, they had me partially out and, put a catheter into my heart, and they couldn't find anything wrong. And my husband said, well, then why'd you fail the stress test? Well, the catheter is the definitive procedure. And they wanted to put me on a statin. I said, well, I have no blockage, so why would I take the statin? And so they just sent me home to just sort of live with a resting heartbeat of 36 to 37 when I'm sleeping. So fast forward, I got on the patch February 9th. I've been on about 9 weeks. And about 10 days in, my heart rate was at 62 one morning. Then keep going. Then it got to 67. And now a majority of the mornings when I wake up, my heart rate is anywhere between 62 and 67 beats per minute while I'm sleeping. I have more energy, and I am so thankful because there is nothing I have done differently than just wearing the X39 and the Aeon. And I was just going to have to live at the age of 62 with this really low heart rate. And the cardiologist they were just shrugging their shoulders, nothing we can do for you. And so I'm anticipating 100% of the nights here in the near future, I will be in a perfect category of resting heartbeats. And I'm just so thankful. I think they're a gift from God. And but I'm one of those that has I'm not the average. I'm probably a little faster, but even if I were the average, what a blessing to get this gift of increased heart rate.
So I'm from a little town called Spur, Texas. Not many people probably know where that's at. So, but it's kind of east of Lubbock over there. And me and my wife started the patch on about February 6th after I got out of the hospital for about 9 days with an arthritic sepsis. And she said, here, you're going to put this on. Cause I think she knew how bad a health I was in even more than I did. Cause I was probably in denial a little bit of it. I'm diabetic, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, overweight, anything that could be wrong. That was me. Had a job that was stressful. I covered 3 states in my job. So started on the patch. And the first thing I noticed, I went to the doctor about 2 weeks later for a follow-up. They took my blood pressure, and it's always been 140 over 90, 150 over 92, whatever. Even with my blood pressure medicine, well, taking my blood pressure medicine, it was 90 over 60. And they asked me if I felt all right. And I was like, yeah, I feel fine. And then I didn't realize what was going on until I thought maybe the machine was messed up. It wasn't, because 2 days later, went to another doctor appointment as a follow-up, and it was the exact same. So I've been off my blood pressure medicine ever since. And last week I got it checked, and it was 117 over 82 without any medicine. And then being diabetic, my blood sugar, my A1C is always 8.5 to 10. I take my medicine. I try to watch it. I can look at a piece of bread and it shoots to 300. Now, watching it now and watching what it is, I'm gonna go from an 8.5 to a 10 on an A1C probably in the next couple of weeks when I get it checked. Looking at where I'm at, it's gonna be probably 6.5 to 7. And the only thing I've changed is that patch. I still take my diabetes medicine, but it wasn't working like it's working now. And it's just amazing. And being diabetic, this is one of the big ones for me. I've always fought diabetic foot wounds. My wife can tell you that. We've been married 10 years and probably 8.5 of them I've had a foot wound at least. When I started on this patch, I had 4 of them. In 3 weeks, 3 of them were gone. And the one that was the size of a $50 is about the size of a pencil eraser now and going away. And that is, the peace of mind that gives you, knowing that that's the only thing you changed and it worked. That's a big, big deal to me. And I tell everybody this, that I wasn't going to share the patch either. I was just going to take it. But when I started feeling better, I can't help but tell people about it. And I don't try to sell it. I don't try to do anything. I just say, this is what it's done for me. I think this is what it can do for you. And it's worked. Every person I've told about that's got on the patch, it's amazing. And the last thing, I've always weighed 235 to 250. My energy went up like everybody else's. My appetite went down, and I weigh 209 pounds now. The last time I weighed 209 pounds, I was a freshman in high school. So I'm gonna tell you this, and I'll tell you 2 things. I'll wear this patch to the day I die. And you never realize how bad you feel until you feel good. That's a big, big deal. I mean, it's getting up in the morning, I'm rested. I mean, everything that could be right is right with my body right now. That's probably as good as it's been since I was a teenager. And I owe it all to that patch, because that's the only thing that I've changed differently.